Welcome to another episode of the Waffle Shop podcast. Today, I'm joined by I can already tell is going to be one of my new favorite people, singer-songwriter, Elli Ingram. Welcome to
Hello.
the Waffle Shop.
Thank you, Taylor. Thank you so much for having me. I am
Honestly, this has been a
really
long time coming.
Oh, that's nice to hear. I'm looking forward to having a good old waffle with you, love.
God, that's what we like. That's what
Yeah,
we like. The sun's shining,
it
we're
is.
waffling.
We're waffling.
I
What
mean,
waffle do you need?
exactly. I mean, this all sounds very positive. However, I do start each one of my shows with something called the Weekly Waffle, where it's something that's quite clearly got on my go that I need to
Yeah,
get off my chest. And
yeah,
hopefully it makes me feel better.
yeah.
Um, this one is quite timely, I think,
Okay.
for us both, to be fair. So
Yeah.
I've just come back from Glastonbury, which
Uh-huh.
was incredible. You've
Unbelievable.
just performed at British Summertime,
Yeah.
which is beautiful.
Thank you.
Now, the thing that has bothered me
Mhm.
about this kind of environment is
Yeah.
the amount of people on their phones
Mm,
during gigs.
yes.
Now, I'm all for capturing like the moment and stuff, but
Yeah.
when did capturing the moment become
Yeah.
more important than living
Being in
the
the moment.
moment?
Oh, I totally feel you. I have to say that I'm going to be really honest with you, Taylor. I am guilty
Yeah,
of,
me too.
I'm guilty. I am guilty. And I really try. And also, I try so hard not to do it because I've noticed what happens is I'll film all of this stuff and then I'll get home and I'll just either delete it or never even look at it or use it. And I really noticed that. So now I really try hard to just not bother and just be present and enjoy the moment because it's
Mm.
so much nicer. And you don't even do anything with all that shit that you've just
Recorded.
filmed anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's what I
know.
mean.
I know. It is bad. It is.
Not only that, but like obviously I've never been in obviously I have no musical talent whatsoever. So being on the stage obviously probably would never happen for me.
Yeah.
But I'm tired of kind of standing in the audience, watching what's happening on stage through someone else's phone.
Yeah, man.
On the flip side of that, like I imagine you like to see smiles, you like
Yeah,
to see people singing, like
definitely. Yeah, you want to look out and see people engaging with you, not just like stood there like this,
yeah.
filming. So yeah, it's really weird. It's definitely a good one for sure, and people should just really try to be more in the moment. But we're all
Yeah.
addicted to our phones.
True, and that is a whole nother conversation.
Oh my God,
Is there
I am.
anything that gets on your nerves that you'd like to get off your chest today?
I mean, honestly, I get really irritated by most things. I get very wound up. One thing that really annoys me, and the reason I'm going to bring it up now is because it's just happened, is it is probably really bizarre, but my stomach gets full of rage when I hear somebody make like a would you call it a bodily noise? Basically, if someone starts coughing or if
Yeah.
someone starts sneezing, my body goes into rage, into absolute rage. I can't stand it. I can't. My it's too much heightened. Like the noise, the senses. I mean, I think I have ADHD, so that's probably why it like gets all my
Yeah.
senses going. But it's so weird, and I really have to try and calm down because I'll be like on the train with my boyfriend, and someone behind me will sneeze, and I'm like fuming, and he's like, calm down. And if it's more than one sneeze, then I'm leaving the carriage because I can't bear
Get me
to
off the
hear it.
train.
Get me off the train. Get me off the train. So I don't know if anyone is going to be able to relate to that, or I'm just some nutter that has like problems with noises. But yeah, that really winds me out.
No, to be fair, it's valid. It's valid. And to be fair,
Thanks.
if it gets on your nerves, there's no one else that can tell you that it doesn't.
Thank
So
you.
yeah,
That's
that's a
true.
good one.
That's
Is
true.
it worse since the pandemic, or is it heightened because of it?
I think it's just always been there. I think,
Yeah.
to be honest, if we're going to get really deep with it,
Let's go. Let's go
I
there.
think it's because of my mum.
Oh, oh no.
Because no, she will laugh. She will laugh because when she sneezes, yeah, she doesn't just go chin. She she makes the loudest, biggest noise. And then once the sneeze is finished, she like makes this other weird noise. So it's always come from her. It's all her
It's like
fault.
the sneeze, the sequel every
Yeah.
time.
Literally.
No, well, that's true. I've
Literally.
never thought about that because I'm quite a jumpy person. Obviously,
Yeah.
I think it's obviously goes hand in hand with having anxiety, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
But
Love
you know,
it.
like even when someone beeps a car horn when they're
Yeah.
driving
Yeah.
past and stuff, you
Yeah.
go. But
Yeah.
my partner has a very loud sneeze, and I don't think there's any need for it. I think it's quite
Yeah.
attention seeking, to be honest.
Maybe that's what winds me up as well, because I just think like there's no need. Why are you making all that noise? Stop.
Also, why does everyone have different sounding sneezes?
Oh my God, that is such a good question.
Oh no, what have I done?
What have you done?
Oh,
There are
this is
so many different sneezes. That's so true.
it's like sneeze accents.
Sneeze accents. Oh wow. I think my sneeze accent's just quite plain,
Yeah.
simple. You know, there's not much to it. But some people have some crazy sneezes. My mum has a really crazy sneeze.
So
Yeah.
if anyone's listening to this and wants to elaborate more, please get in
Yeah.
touch because I'm actually genuinely fascinated by
Yeah.
this.
I reckon actually a lot of people are gonna resonate with this. I have a feeling.
Yeah,
I
like
do.
a Scottish sneeze or something. Anyway,
Anyway.
moving swiftly on into the
Moving
reason
swiftly on.
why you're here.
Yes.
Obviously, I have been a fan of yours ever. I was a little bit late to the party, so apologies for this.
Fair enough.
I first heard your incredible voice when you collaborated with Rudimental, which then completely opened the world to me to like your past albums, your collaboration with like Chase and Status,
Yeah.
which led to this incredible banging new album, Bad Behaviour.
Yay.
Literally, it's incredible. Like the amount of times I've pulled, you know, that face that you pull, like, oh,
Really enjoying it. Yeah.
yeah, that face. So that's how you know it's incredible. So well
Thank
done.
you. Thank you. That's very lovely to hear, and I really appreciate it. So thank
It's
you.
good. Before we get to the album, I'll probably have jumped. This is what happens on the show.
Yeah.
It's like
Jump
time
around.
traveling.
Yeah.
Now those lyrics are stuck in my head. Jump up and get down.
Yeah. Jump.
How did that musical journey start for you? Because I've had people on the show who've said like they went to watch someone perform live and they're like, that's what I want to do, or
Yeah.
they fell in love with an instrument. Like
Yeah.
how did this start for you?
I mean, I grew up in a very like musical household. My dad's a singer and it was in a band when he was younger and still plays in bands now. My mum makes a lot of noise when she's sneezing, but also just like she loves to play the piano and play the recorder, which we will try and tell her not to bring out every Christmas, but she still does. She loves it. Yeah, I know. She's there on the recorder, sneezing away. Oh my God, my poor mum. She listens to this. She's an absolute legend. She is my favourite person in the whole world. But yeah, so it's just like we were always surrounded by music and, you know, things like that. So there was always like a love for music, but it was never something I, you know, dreamt of being. I wasn't one of those artists that since I was born was like, I'm going to be a star. It's what I want to do. That wasn't for me. The only reason I went on to do music is because when I was doing my when I was at school studying, I went to college to do A levels and I wanted to do fashion, but I didn't get the grades. So my mum was like, oh God, what are you gonna do? You gotta go to college. And she said, why don't you do music? You quite like music, you like singing. Why don't you just go and give that a go? So I did, and that's when I really fell in love with it properly, because I started songwriting. We formed like a little girl band in our music course. And I was just like, I really started to fall in love with the other side of it, you know, like not just the fact that I was singing. I think it was the fact that I discovered I could write songs. And for me, I'm dyslexic. So like words and all that sort of stuff is really difficult for me.
Yeah.
So then when I discovered that I could write these songs and I was singing them to people and showing my mum and dad, and everyone was like really impressed, I was like, oh, wow, okay, maybe, you know, maybe this is something I should keep at, because people seem to think I'm pretty good at it. and I just fell more and more in love with it, and the journey just began, so it sort of got really serious for me when I was, finishing college, which is when you're about 18 or something like
Yeah.
that. And then I was introduced to Felix and Aston, who've produced all of my music, and they were living in Brighton. And we just started to create this sound together and started writing, and it just all sort of snowballed really from there. But yeah, it wasn't anything I ever really, really dreamt of doing, but it all sort of fell into place. And now there's absolutely nothing else I would or could do. So yeah.
I love that. Do you know what? It's that kind of that saying, isn't it? Like if you kind of find something you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I love these conversations, especially like with musical people, because it's just like, I mean, it just makes me so jealous that I don't have an ounce of.
Hey,
No,
stop
I actually,
it.
I
No,
don't. Just
not
don't.
at all.
Please don't. No,
Okay, fine.
no. Even I tried to make a song with Sean Paul on the show,
Oh, nice.
and he laughed at my rap. So
Right.
I mean, it's yeah.
We're just sticking to the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So
Stick to the
still
podcast.
kind of there.
You're doing an amazing job, so that's fine.
But one to be fair, you mentioned there about like the lyrics and stuff like that. Like that's one thing that really captures my attention with you, is it takes me away. Like it genuinely, like you, I don't know what it is with the words and stuff like that you do, but like it almost paints a picture for me. Like I almost have to kind of listen with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
So I don't listen to you when I'm like I walk or do any other
Oh, good.
operate
Don't
heavy
do that.
machinery.
Driving.
But is there a moment where you've kind of, or even now, like once obviously now the album's out, like have you taken a look back to be like, wow, okay, I'm glad almost, because it's those moments, isn't it, when you like when you didn't get the grades to go off and do what you thought you wanted to do, to be like, this is it, this is the end of the world.
Yeah.
To now be like, okay, that was supposed to happen.
100%. Yeah. I mean, for me, that is when I feel the most proudest, when I write a song and I think the lyrics just hit the nail on the head, or when I listen back and I listen to the lyrics, I feel proud of myself for that more than I do for the vocal ability or whatever. It's like I credit myself for the lyrics because I'm not an academic person. And then when I hear people say, like, one of the reasons we gravitate towards you is because of your lyrics, and you write these amazing lyrics. And I think, shit, okay, that to me, that feels so good. That feels amazing, because I find communicating and finding the words really difficult. So it feels amazing when people are like, you're a really good songwriter. And I'm like, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
With that, because obviously we talk about kind of like the mental health journey I mean, the show wouldn't exist without kind of that kind of thing for myself. When it comes to songwriting, like, do you pull on experiences? Like, is it, because to be fair, I'm kind of putting words into your mouth here, but a lot of people say, especially like singer-songwriters, that it is like a form of therapy for them.
Definitely. I only write about what I'm going through, and so personable, if that's the word. I definitely, like, I said this in an interview not that long ago, and I just think it's so true. I sing what I can't say. So if I'm struggling to communicate in a day-to-day conversation, those things will always be put into a song for me. And that's my way of communicating, because it's just like, I'm just going to run away from the fact that I should probably have this conversation with you, but I'm more than happy to stand on stage and sing about it. So yeah, for me, it's 100% the therapy. But then sometimes it's a bit awkward, because I write these songs and then people are like, so do you want to tell us about that then? And I'm like, no, bye. No, I just sing it.
That's not how it works.
No.
Buy the album.
Yeah, just buy the album and work it out for yourself. Yeah, so it's 100% the therapy for me. That's how I get my feelings and my thoughts and my emotions out, 1,000,000%.
Is it weird being in that kind of moment and kind of pouring your kind of heart out into these songs to then have people sing them back to you?
Yeah, it can be. I've really noticed that with this new album, and I haven't even played the full album yet to people. On some of the shows that I just recently did, we played some of the new stuff, and it is because this album in particular is very, very honest. All my stuff is, but this feels like it's the most open I've been. So it is difficult because you sort of, you get your feelings and emotions out, and then you record the song and you sort of put it to bed because you don't listen to it for a really long time. And then you have to sort of open that box up again and sing it to everybody and see people singing it back. So it can be difficult, but with some songs, well, with all songs really, it's also really beautiful and empowering when people sing it back, because for me, I write a lot of these songs when I'm really lonely and sad and feel like I have nobody. And then I sing it in front of all these people who are singing it back to me and feel the same way. So it's like, oh shit, like I'm not the only one that feels like this. All these people feel like this as well. And we're all just stood together in this big sad hole that I've created for everyone. This big dark hole.
It's not a bad place. And this is what I love about music, though, because I think this is why I get so drawn in by lyrics, because it's kind of similar to yourself, that because I can't kind of sometimes communicate how I feel, I could listen to an album, and there's one album in particular that I kind of want to ask you about, which leads me on to one of your lyrics. It just makes me feel like, well, someone else out there is feeling exactly the same way I was, and they're now singing about it. So it's almost like living through other people. It's weird.
But isn't that the best feeling? That's what literally I love so much about music, is when I listen to a song and I think, fucking hell, you've written this song for me. And you've written it in a way that I could never have articulated ever. But like, I also, that's exactly how I would have said it. Like, that's the best for me. That's when the music is just like, that is the best.
God, you're a perfect person to waffle with. But yeah, one of them, I need to kind of mention this because I don't know the story behind this particular song on Bad Behaviour, but the song is called Heavy, and it's stunning, absolutely beautiful song. But one of the biggest albums that got me through a very, very tough time when I was younger was Amy Winehouse's Back to Black.
Hell yeah.
Now, there's a line in that song, and I don't know if this is about this Amy, but there's a line in that says, maybe I can finally meet Amy.
Yes, it's about that Amy. It absolutely is.
I got it.
You got it. 10 points to Taylor. You got it.
Thank you. I'm getting good at this.
You're getting good, love. Amy is my absolute queen. Love her so, so much. And Heavy is a really sad, depressing song about not wanting to be here anymore. So yeah, the lyric was like, just basically, this is why I sing what I can't say, Taylor.
Sorry.
Because it's like, if I'm not here, I can finally meet my idol Amy and hang out with Amy, and it's like, that song I think is such a like, it what's the word? It shows me and what I do so well, because lyrically, it's a very sad song. I remember when I wrote that song, like all my friends and family were literally like, "Are you okay?" And I'm just like, "I'm fine." But then I sort of wrap it up in this production that sounds quite sweet and fun. Like, everyone loves hearing that song live because the production's so good, and it's like, it's a real sing-along tune. But the lyrics are really, really fucking sad. Like, it's probably one of the saddest, most honest songs that I've written. It's about literally not wanting to be here anymore. But that song seems to have really resonated with a lot of people, and that is like, for me,
it's a standout for me on that
album. Thank you, Taylor. And I mean, it's so weird as a writer, like what I was saying, because you write when you're in a really lonely place, and then all these people come together, and it's like, oh yeah, like, I'm helping you because I've written this song, but you're also all helping me because now I don't feel alone. So
I got a little bit there.
Oh, I know. I can feel myself getting a bit teary, and I'm like, hold it back, girl. Hold it back.
But now I kind of know that I can really kind of feel Amy's influence across the album, because I think she does like a very kind of similar thing, isn't it? She's got these really gut-wrenching, like heartfelt lyrics, and then I mean, to be fair, everything sounds better with a trumpet on it.
Oh, 100%. Trumpet,
Everything.
sax, any brass.
No recorder.
No recorder, please.
How good does it feel though to finally have the album out?
Really, really fucking good. It's been a long time coming. You know, I started it about, I don't know, 4 years ago, I think, maybe even a little bit longer, actually. I don't know where we are now in the world as a year or whatever, but I started it a long time ago, and it's been a long time coming. It's been a real journey since my first album came out. I did my first album with a major label, and now I'm independent, and I've had managers come and go along the way, and friends come and go, and just so many things that have happened. And fucking COVID was thrown into the middle of it all.
Yeah.
Let's not even go there.
Nah.
So yeah, it feels really amazing that I've managed to get it out when there were multiple times it felt like maybe we were never going to get there, you know. So I really tried to just take it all in when it did come out, because it's a huge achievement, and I have to sort of take those moments in, because it's massive, you know. Putting an album out is huge, and it was really difficult at times. So it feels so good that it's out, and now we're starting to get some shows in place, and I can't wait to start gigging it. And yeah, feels good.
Good. This is what we like. This is what we like.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine it's quite like a vulnerable place to be, especially because these songs have obviously, like you said, like I've kind of soundtracked some very kind of bad situations for
definitely.
you. So yeah, like fair play.
Thank you.
Well done, Ellie.
Thank you.
Why Bad Behaviour? Tell me about the title.
Well, basically, unlike my first album, with this album, from the very beginning, I had the concept, and it was always bad behavior. So like I had this mind map, and in the middle it said bad behavior, and out of that was coming all these, like, mainly they were sort of at that time behavior traits. So I had all these different traits. Selfish was one, like all these kind of negative bad traits. Because when I started writing this album, to be totally real with you, Taylor, there was a lot of fucked up shit happening in my life, and it made me really look at people in a different way, and that's where it all stems from. So then I just went on this journey of writing all of these songs that were sort of analyzing different behavior traits and different kind of negative emotions. And I didn't know at the time that the album was going to be called Bad Behaviour. I just knew that was sort of the concept of the album. And then towards the end, all the songs were in place, and Aston and I, my producer, were chatting, and I can't quite remember how the conversation went, but we just came to the realization that the album should absolutely be called Bad Behaviour. And yeah, it just all sort of made perfect sense. And that's kind of how it came about. But it was always the plan, basically, from the very beginning, that it was going to be about shitty people and their shitty behaviour. And a little bit about my behaviour. I'm an angel, so not too much about
Exactly. I wouldn't expect anything less. So.
Yeah.
Exactly. You have obviously you've collabed now with some quite heavy hitters, obviously with Mahalia, Rudimental, Chase Status. Is there anyone like is there like a younger version of Ellie that would be like, or even now, to be fair, be like dream collaboration to be like, that's who I want?
Yeah, well, my dream collaboration is at the moment, and it has been for a while, is to work with this producer called Inflow, who most people want to work with, but no one can get fucking hold of him. I don't know where he is or if he even exists, but his name is Inflow. He basically is the producer behind all of Cleo Soul's stuff. He does a lot of stuff with Little Sims. He did a few things on Adele's new record, and he just seemed like just
Gets it.
amazing. He gets it. And I love Cleo Soul so much. I would love to collaborate with her as well, to be honest, and Little Sims. So it's like his whole team is like,
Yeah.
oh, can I come?
I want to be part of your crew.
I want to be part of your crew. So yeah, Inflo, I would really, really love to collaborate with. He's just super, super cool.
Well, we'll try. We'll put
We'll try.
positive vibes out there. We're
Absolutely.
gonna
We're putting it out there.
manifest it.
Manifests.
Obviously,
Yeah.
with this, with Bad Behaviour,
Mm.
you have obviously you've put yourself in a very vulnerable place. Like, you know, you've kind of, well, it's out there now for the world to kind of experience as well.
Yeah.
We talk about music and mental health a lot on the show, and having kind of like the music that have kind of soundtracked like the journey and stuff, which kind of like music is my biggest coping mechanism to get like how I'm feeling out.
Yeah.
When things do get a little bit kind of heavy for yourself, like aside from music, is there anything else that you kind of lean towards to kind of get you through those days?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a very creative person. So if I'm not singing or writing when when I need to, I love to cook and I love to paint. And I find both of those things like extremely relaxing. If I'm
Yeah.
having like a terrible day and I just want to switch off from everything, I will go into the kitchen, drink a bottle of wine and cook a load of food because I find it very therapeutic. And the same with painting actually, because it's that thing where you can't really think about anything else if you're doing that. You just have to
Yeah.
focus on that. And like with painting, you get so lost in it that you then sort of come out of this world that you've just been in, and then your mind opens up again. So it's like it's so amazing to be able to just like close
Zone
everything
in on
off.
something. Yeah.
Oh, so nice. So yeah, cooking and painting, I would say, are my two other ways to just zone out. And I mean, in some ways, that can be more therapeutic and calming than writing sometimes. Because sometimes if I go to the studio when I'm really vulnerable and something's going on,
Yeah.
writing about it can sometimes be really great and be like therapy because you're getting it all out and off your chest. But you have to be like ready for that. You
Yeah.
might go into studio and then not be ready for it, and then
Oh, that's interesting.
it can be a little bit overwhelming, but it can still be really positive. Like that happened when I wrote my song Poor Baby. That song is a very sad, difficult song that I wrote, and about a week before, maybe even less than that, a few days before, that story all came to light, what that song is about.
Yeah.
And I went into studio not even thinking I was going to write about that. Like there was like, I'm not ready to write about that. But then it just happened. It just came out. And then I was in floods of tears in the studio, and it was amazing. And I'm glad that I did it because I wrote this beautiful song. But it's like, yeah, sometimes you have to be ready for that shit, because otherwise you just get caught off guard, and then you're in studio, hopefully with someone crying your eyes out.
Yeah. Do you know what, there's something incredibly beautiful about that moment and being like just allowing yourself to feel that emotion, because you could have quite easily just like bottled that up and like, nope, not
Exactly.
dealing with that today.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
in that like sometimes it's okay to lean into that.
Yeah, you're right, Taylor. It's true. And I definitely needed to. It was when I left, I was like, good. I'm glad that happens. And I wrote a really beautiful song that I'm proud of. So it was definitely what was meant to be. Yeah.
I knew you were going to be one of my favorite people.
Yeah,
Literally,
stop
I
it.
felt it in the water.
I love you.
So on the show, we talk about obviously the music and all this kind of thing. I want to know, and I get the sense that it won't take a lot to get you on the dance floor. However, is there a song that needs to be playing to get you on the dance floor?
That is a really good question. I mean, I really love a bit of disco. So maybe something like keep the fire burning, keep the fire burning, keep them burning hot, hot. You know that tune?
Yes.
That is,
My shoulder was going.
yeah, anything disco, because it gets your shoulder going, gets your toe tapping, and you just have to make your way to the dance floor. So yeah, keep your fire burning. I can't think who that's by. I can see the artwork, but I can't think who it's by right now. But
That's what, to fair though, I love anyone who talks about disco music, because it's like those songs that you don't realize that you know,
yeah,
but yet you
so
know
true.
every single like word to that song.
So true. So true. What about you? What's getting you on the dance floor?
Anything by Bewitched.
Oh, love it. Love
Anything
it.
by Bewitched.
Oh, what's the one about the house? They're in a house.
I said, hey boy, sitting in your tree.
Oh yeah,
are you
my man was
drinking a
watching a cup of
comforted
tea. Don't be
tea?
shy. Love it. Love it.
Yep.
Yeah, that would get me on the dance floor as well, to be fair.
It's just as soon as I hear that, yeah, I'm
Oh
gone.
yes.
I'm gone. There we go. Some people said it like my dad. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Oh, me too.
But you bet anything that kind of takes me back to that, like those songs for me obviously remind me of like growing up and stuff, where I didn't have a care in the world.
Yeah.
And it kind of just brings that back.
Yeah, that inner little cheeky child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that, is there a song or even an album that you can't listen to, or kind of not necessarily you can't listen to, but like brings out the emotion in you? Other than your own.
Other than my own, yeah. I don't know. I not that I can really think of now, but when I was younger, I used to love, I mean, I still love her, but I used to love her early albums, Taylor Swift, because all she used to sing about was like breaking up with boys that didn't love her. And I remember I used to just like, I wasn't even breaking up with anyone. I would just listen to her songs and pretend that I was, and just like cry loads, just like I feel the same, but like it wasn't the same, because I didn't have a boyfriend and I wasn't going through any heartache. Maybe I wanted to, and that's why I was listening to it. But yeah, I used to purposely put on Taylor Swift's album like to cry and feel really sad and unloved. Yeah, so maybe
the things we do, eh?
The things we do. Self-inflicted.
Okay. Is there a song that you just conveniently would to fall into a box, you put a few chains around it, kick it to the side, never hear it again? What would it be?
Oh my God.
And there's no like beef or anything. It's just maybe it's overplayed. Maybe
no.
It's
oh
just
yeah,
like...
there's definitely loads that would go in a box with chains around it. I'm just struggling to think of one. I can't think, Taylor. Can you think of one?
At the moment, for me, it's and I hate this because I really do love the song. It's that I'm blue. No, it's not in blue. I'm good. Yeah, I'm feeling all right. And I love it. You know, the Davey Guetta. And I don't even think it's
the same melody as I'm blue? Oh my!
But that's I think that's why it's annoying me.
Oh, because you've heard it too much. Oh, that other song that's really annoying, Crazy Frog. Meow, 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 meow.
Joe, that's like you're like the fourth person who've come on here and said.
There's definitely more. That's just because you sang that blues song that made me think of Crazy Frog. But there's songs that are way more current that I definitely, if they come on the radio, I turn them off. But I just can't think right now. It's going to come to me later, and I'm going to be like, Taylor, this is the song.
This is the song. We had a random one the other day. It was Old Town Road. Infuriated the person.
Maybe again because it's overplayed.
It's everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah. I don't mind that song though. But... yeah.
Okay, I have one final question for you.
Fire.
So we've opened a few doors throughout the show. We've been vulnerable. We've laughed. We've almost cried.
Yeah.
If there is someone listening to this who might be having a bit of a shitty day, what advice would you give them?
Well, I mean, I am not qualified, Taylor, to give someone advice. But if I was having a shitty day, I would say to this person, and like what I would say to me is, I would allow yourself to have a shitty day. Like, just what I love to do if I'm having a shitty day is not really get out of bed. I like to maybe pop to the shop and buy loads of junk food and crisps and chocolate, and then get into bed and just watch telly all day and just don't feel guilty about it. Just shut the world away and just have today to just allow yourself to just feel it. Sometimes you have to sit in your feelings and you just have to go through the motions. So I think if you're having a shitty day, have it today, and then maybe tomorrow you'll feel a bit better and you can start again. And yeah, but you know what, if you're having a bad day, you're allowed to have a bad day. That's my advice.
You are just brilliant.
Oh,
Absolutely
stop
brilliant.
it.
Honestly,
Thank
no,
you.
I love you. I
Oh,
genuinely love you.
I love you.
The album is incredible. Bad Behaviour, it is everywhere at the moment.
Thanks.
And so it should be.
Thanks, Taylor. Thank you. I appreciate it. You'll have to come to one of the shows.
November, isn't it?
November. Yep, November. And then like a little bit of October. So please come along.
Wait, where are you heading on tour? Just in case anyone's listening who might be.
Yep, very true. We're going to be in London, Brighton, Leeds, Manchester, and Bristol.
No Birmingham date.
No Birmingham date. I know things might get added if there is, if there's a demand. So you never know. But yeah, at the moment we've got those 5 dates in. If anyone's listening and they want to come along, please buy a ticket, because there's some of the biggest shows that I've done yet, and I'm a bit, it'll be a bit embarrassing if nobody's there. So get a ticket.
They will be.
I
It's
hope so.
incredible. Best of luck with everything. And thank you so much for joining me for a waffle.
No, thank you for having me. It's been really lovely.